Hi trainers, welcome back to my series about how to get into the Pokemon trading card game. So we're not talking about how to play, we're talking about how to get into a community, how to invest in the hobby without breaking your bank account. So that's something I'm going to be focusing on really heavily, is how to kind of pinpoint what you'd like to be doing in this hobby and a way to not be wasting your time and money. Step one is to download Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. Now, I know what you're gonna say, Amy, isn't that obvious, but there's one specific purpose for this. Pokemon Trading Card Game Live is the free online client, and if you have children, anyone your kids will be playing against is completely anonymous, so you don't need to worry about either in-app purchasing or speaking to anybody that you wouldn't wish them to speak to online, any strangers. So you don't need to worry about that, but secondly, you can use this as a way to narrow down what kind of decks you'd like to play or what you'd like to do with your time, because it's all well and good going along to a Pokemon League and buying lots of cards, but a better way to do things would be to figure out what you'd like to purchase first and jump from that pad to the next step. So there are lots of decks that kind of get given to you for free on the app. I'm just going to ignore the ones that I've built. But for example, you can get at the moment right now this Ragingbolt deck. Now, it's by no means perfect, but it's a very good starting point to jump off and try things. There's also a little Ogerpon EX deck, and again, you can mix these up, but you get these for free. Palafun EX, don't we love that? So don't forget that you can use this as a starting point. You can edit these decks, you can duplicate them and change things and then go back, and you can kind of find what your play style is. So going on the app, using some of the decks, and then maybe changing things and building your own is a great step one to figuring out what kind of things you're going to want. And then maybe you could purchase those cards in real life using any kind of purchasing website that you fancy, or your local gaming store may sell singular Pokemon cards as well. But rather than buying lots of random cards or booster boxes or packs that may not get you anything playable or anything that just isn't your style, it's great for getting some trades. So it's cool if you've already gone and done some of that. However, I would suggest going on TCG Live and figuring things out. If you need any further help with that, online communities are a fantastic way to reach out as well. Streamers such as myself, Sunny Games, Tricky Jim, oh my gosh, there's so many. Trust Your Pilot. There are so many Pokemon trading card game streamers out there who are playing weekly. So please go and check all of them out and give them your best wishes. Step two is, of course, to go down to your local Pokemon League. Now, I've published a video about this already, so head to that video to see how to find your local Pokemon League. But one of the best ways to get into the hobby is to go and meet the people. And I know this can be really daunting, but there is a great online community as well. So if you'd rather sit at home, I've also done a video on how to enter a Pokemon trading card game live tournament. This is all online and usually free. So go and check out that video. And again, get involved with some of the online communities on Twitch, YouTube, Discord that can really help you flourish as well as a Pokemon trainer. My third recommendation would be to buy a battle deck. Now, these come in V battle decks, you can get EX battle decks. You can just purchase these. They're relatively cheap, they're not too expensive, but they again give you a pre-built platform. So it's a little bit like our free version on PTCG Live, but this time you're gonna go and buy a deck and go and play with some people. Now, I definitely have advice on which ones of these decks are better and which ones are worse. I would say anything that comes with sort of multiple V Pokemon or EX Pokemon, depending on what era you're playing in, those are going to be the slightly better ones. However, saying that, currently the Chempao V battle deck is out and that's one of the cheaper ones, so it really varies with the meta. Again, if you ever have any questions about which product to be buying, you're welcome to jump into my Discord and ask. My next recommendation is to use the fantastic community-made tool, limitlesstcg.com. Now, we use this website as well, obviously, to play on, but you can use it as a method of gaining deck knowledge as well. So, for example, let's click tournaments at the top here, and it's just been NAIC New Orleans. Let's have a look. Andrew Hedrick won, absolutely gripping finals against Stefan Ivanov, so if you haven't gone and watched that, I would go and do so. But look, I can have a look right here at the deck list. I can see roughly how much money it's going to cost me. Let's say I'm buying it on TCG Player, it will be $73.87. Now, I'd say a lot of these Pokemon cards are obviously really easy to get hold of, especially if you go down to a Pokemon League session. Energy you can quite often get for free. So again, just have an inquire. I'd say you could easily knock at least 20 bucks off of this price right here by doing some savvy shopping. And you can also see how well that deck has been doing sort of with other players in other events as well. So I can actually go down, click on all of these list buttons, and I can see all of the different cards that are in their lists. Now, even better, I can copy it to my clipboard and I can import that into Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. And that will allow me to then play the deck before I buy any of the cards. Oh, you can also open it in the deck builder to change things out yourself and give it a go. So that's always a really fantastic way of checking out where and when these decks have been doing well. And you can always check out every kind of deck. And if there's anything specific you want to be looking for as well, you can use the search bar also. Now, one of the most common questions I get when it comes to Pokemon and how to know what cards I can and can't put in my deck. Well, we currently have a rotation system, which means that some cards will be legal and some cards won't. You can check on Limitless whether something is legal in the standard format by clicking on the card and having a look at this section. However, as a slightly quicker, easier guide, every single Pokemon card that is of the modern era will have a letter code right at the bottom there. So this one, it's an F. So I know that this Sableye is in rotation F. Currently, as of 2024, we are in rotation block E. So anything that has a letter E or lower in the alphabet is no longer legal in standard play, but F and onwards in the alphabet is totally fine. The other thing that people ask me is, but Amy, a card that I've got has an F stamp, but also an E stamp. Can I use it? The answer is yes. If there is a standard legal printing of a card, but there's also an older version of it, you can play the old art as well. I hope that was helpful. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But those are my top tips into getting into the Pokemon trading card game community. We hope to see you soon, and hopefully I'll catch you at some future events. Bye.